we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
And we're rolling, baby. 277. Here we go. It's going to be fun. We got Chef DeAndre in the studio with us. Met this man up in, technically Lyons, we say Boulder. It was at the Grit Together that we talked about with Chef Cody a few weeks ago. Thanks for being here, brother.
Man, thank y'all for having me. Like I said, man, I'm grateful to be here, grateful for the opportunity, so I appreciate you guys.
Yes, and you do have a lot of momentum coming off that Grit Together.
Man.
Took first place there.
The champ.
Yep. Honestly, man, we have some heavy hitting chefs there, man. Between Cody, Josh, Chefy, which is what we call her right now.
Yeah.
Man, that fucking pasta, dude.
That was killer.
I thought that pasta had it. Both me and Cody, we were talking about it, even Josh. We're just happy to be able to take that pasta out, honestly.
Yeah. So confession to make.
Oh, dude, I was gonna do it. Okay. So he's doing this. I was literally about to do this.
Yeah.
right.
We never got to taste yours.
Are you serious?
Your table was so flooded. We could every time that the food would drop, I was like, "Damn it!" And then I would look over, and then Cody would have some, so I'd grab some of his, and I'm like, "This is the only piece of food we haven't tried yet."
I
And
know.
then they're like, "Okay, it's time to vote."
I felt so bad too at the end. I was like, "Damn it!" And we didn't even get to try it.
Now you know why he voted the way he did.
Okay. Yeah. Now it makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
No, man.
Got to come clean on discussion combustion. Kev.
Hey, you know it's the truth.
It is.
We didn't get to taste.
I feel
the
bad I didn't get
dish.
to try it because you had like one of the more traditional
type
of grit dishes.
Yep. Honestly, man, it's not your fault. It's the guests.
Ravenous.
Ravenous, dude. Like the moment that I walked in with the plates, because I think we were pushing out 12 plates at a time, and the moment that I walked in, they snatched them off of me.
Yeah, they were grabbing before you could even put them down.
Yeah, before I can even get to the table, they were already taking them.
Yeah. So the feeling that I felt when they were like, okay, DeAndre took it, I was like, dude, we didn't even
get to try.
That's
the
one
champ.
we didn't even get to try.
We're like, we at least gotta get a picture with the guy. That's when we flagged you down.
That makes sense.
You know, but what a fun event that was. I know we talked about it with Cody a bit. Just the way it all came together and the vibes that were there.
Yeah.
And how cool is that to be able to go to a cooking competition and try the food that people are voting on?
Very much so. I'll say this, man. Cody put together an amazing event. We had a couple of conversations. We've been on Food Network. We've both been on Chopped. He's won. I've lost. But a lot of competitions nowadays, they're not competitions. It's just like, just show up, eat the food. Here's the winner, but it's like a pity award to the runner-up. And it's like we don't want a pity award. Like who won?
Who truly won?
Yeah, who truly won? We want to know who won, and then to be able to go up against the best, like that's all we really want. Just to be able to showcase our skill sets and things like that. Yeah. So for him to be able to put together an event like that, and then the connections we made, even with the other chefs that were competing, and then even with, for example, you guys, and then even the other guests, I think it was pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good opportunities came out of it for a lot of people, I think.
Very much so.
So, and like that intimate environment too was cool. Like it was packed for sure. Yeah. There was like probably, including everybody, probably close to 150 people, I would say. And Cody was kind of talking about scaling that up and getting it bigger to like 500, then 1,000, and having this blockbuster, food convention
I think it's dope.
I think it's a great idea.
I mean, that was the first time I had ever experienced doing anything like that, where I'm, voting on the stuff and trying it, even though I didn't try everything.
I get it.
But it was quite the experience. It was so much fun. Ambiance was great, and I like the overall mission of driving, like locally, like food that's healthier to eat. And that is also produced in a low impact way to the environment.
Very much so.
So that was really kind of the goals of what the showcase was.
Yep.
Not the delicious food, but of course there was like a mission behind that. And we got to meet those farmers and stuff. See, that's the most wild thing is like, and maybe you could say, because you've met a lot of people doing all the people that you cook for and the networks you've been on, like you've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you say that like basically everybody's kind of the same?
People are people.
Yeah.
Regardless of, the accolades that they have behind them, besides the money, everything else, like, man, people are people. So
that's what I've learned from doing this show for 6 years and talking to great people. That's exactly it. Everyone kind of has that same mission, drive, and purpose that they're chasing, right?
Exactly.
And you try to do good by others and try to lend a helping hand where you can, right? And then doors start to open.
You know what? That's crazy. My buddy just sent me something about that earlier today. I'm big into God and having grace and favor over your life. Specifically talking about relationships, man. You can't open up every door, right? Mm-hmm. So having the people around you, but even the connections, like it's them opening the doors for you, and that's pretty much how I look at it. So
it's good perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like that.
It is good perspective, and it's almost like having like that awareness, like noticing when there's certain opportunities, and that's one thing I notice is once you start getting a little hot, then like a lot of opportunities pop out. And to your point that you were saying prior to recording is, and I'm saying it differently, but not every opportunity is worth taking.
Right.
Yep.
But you get a lot of different opportunities. It's good to always look at them and then really trust your intuition, because I'm huge on like that there's like a database that everyone's subconscious is connected to.
Right.
And so we all have this intuitive nature with everything.
Yep.
Maybe that's God or whatever. Whatever it is, like I believe that exists.
Like fungi in the forest.
Like fungi in the forest. Like runs the forest.
Yeah.
So if you're more tapped into that, then you're going to be able to tell who's authentic and not. And I swear, because I've been a liar in the past, and so like I've been a deceiver. And so I almost feel like it's like really easy to see one now because I used to do that myself.
Right.
And like we can all tell if someone is authentic or not. Like I feel like we could tell if it's like genuine and people actually want to try to help us not.
Yeah.
Like Cody, like he gave us some solid lad advice for promo clips.
And
it's been really helping.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's like a new ingredient that we found to cook with.
Yeah.
In
the basket. Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
No. Cody definitely helped me out with a lot of things too, especially when it comes to filming. Right. Yeah. So I do a lot of things on my phone, but I have a Sony camera at home, but I wasn't using it. I bought it a couple of years back. He was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He's like, "You have a
just chilling."
Yeah, just chilling. He's like, "You have a perfectly good camera." He picked it up, put a charger, a battery in it, and he was just showing me like, "This is how you edit. This is how you cut." And he was just so genuine about it. He was like, "You know what? We'll have a conversation when I get back from New York, and I'll just show you how to edit each thing. That way your videos come out a lot cleaner." So
that little bit of advice right there is going to go a long way for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it already has.
Making that editing piece, because you'd mentioned you're going to get this YouTube channel going.
Yep.
Being able to crank content out and having those little tips and tricks along the way is going to change the game.
Very much so.
So that's exciting. Something to build on for sure. Because content creation, as we've learned, Art, it takes, grit. It really does. I mean, you have to be resilient with it. You have to have initiative with it. You have to have tenacity with it, because it's easy to get lazy with it.
Very much so.
It's going to take that. You got to feed it constantly. It's like a hungry beast.
Yeah, and you might not always be getting the feedback that you want either. Like you might just be putting out content and no one ever says nothing.
Yeah.
But like maybe you are affecting people and they're just not saying anything, and that's fine.
Right.
Just putting it out there. Yeah.
And it's like what we were talking about right before we hopped on. Like it's like a passion. Like you do it because you enjoy it.
Yep.
Like that's like why do anything?
Exactly.
If you're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it? Like sure, to do something that you love and capture freedom, you do have to get through some things that might not be your favorite thing to do. Like there's part of the process that you have to get done even though it might not be your favorite thing.
Right.
But the end result is your favorite
social
thing.
Media.
Yeah. Or whatever it is. Or even like working out. Like and like all this kind of stuff. Like you don't always want to go work out, but you just do it anyway, Or there's all these different examples of that.
It's just forcing yourself to do it, man. You can't. At the end of the day, it's like I quit cooking multiple times. Okay. It's always grab me and drag me back in. It's just like, obviously I have a purpose. I have a passion for it. If I didn't get paid to do it, I'll continue doing it.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into what you're saying. Like you gotta enjoy what you're doing, and that's honestly what got me to this point. So. And
you found something you're good at and you enjoy, so that's like a win-win.
Yep, exactly. And people, enjoy my food. Which is the plus, honestly.
Yeah, that's an added bonus, right? Because people want to hire you. You said you did like personal chef, right?
Yep, so I was a private chef. Still am, actually. Man, that's crazy. So I've been cooking professionally for 12 years now.
Wow.
Literally, man, I started selling plates out of my dorm. I was going to UNC, University of Northern Colorado. I was selling plates out of my dorm just to get some extra cash. And then the moment that I was graduating, my roommate at the time, he was like, why not be a personal chef for one of the athletes? So I'm DMing everybody. First person to hit me up was Jerry Judy.
Okay.
And then that's actually what got me into becoming a personal chef.
Okay.
So, obviously cooking for athletes, but then that's what created a pathway for me to, do private dinners for people that are coming in town. Usually like my busiest times of the year are wintertime, so anytime between like August to March, everybody wants to go skiing. So, and they need a chef because most of the time restaurants aren't open during that time.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, it does. So how do you market that, though? Like, how do people say, okay, I'm coming to town, how do I find this guy?
Social media.
Okay.
Everything has been
All social media.
All social media.
Wow.
And then word of mouth. So that's where the people come into play too.
That's true. A couple of the people at the event followed you.
Really?
And they learned about it from Instagram.
Yeah.
And they just came up there just to come try some food.
Yep.
So it does work.
Yeah, the reach is definitely there for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
It's just because on Discussion Combustion, at least, we've talked about like self-empowerment a lot and how, internet and the doom scrolling can grip anyone's life regardless of your age. Like you could be any age and get addicted to your phone.
That's true.
And like, honestly, when I was a teenager even, like we had flip phones. Like we didn't have the pocket computers that people got nowadays. Right. So it's like it hasn't even been around long enough for us to really truly know how it's affecting people.
Right.
But like so there's an important crucial part of it where it's like we always like are talking about how important social media is to promote businesses and stuff,
which it is.
But it's easy to get sucked into all this negativity and like propaganda.
Yeah.
And so I've always listened to other creators and stuff. They're like, be really intentional on your likes, dislikes on your page. So then that way your feed actually, you can get an algorithm feed built that is actually a positive algorithm feed as long as you are actively liking and searching that type of stuff constantly.
That part. The doom scrolling for me, dude, it has been it's been terrible. Using social media in a way where for me it's business, but I've allowed both personal and business to intertwine because me being Chef Cool Dre, people still want to see the everyday life piece, but then they still want to see, okay, well, who is he cooking for? It's gotten to a point where I've taken off social media, and I try not to be on it even now. But it's a struggle because it's like you have a business, you're trying not to be on social media as much, and it's just like trying to figure out that in between, man. It's hard.
It is
for sure.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah,
because I know it pulls you back in at times. And you're like, okay, I get it. And like for me, I'm just like, okay, now I'm done with it again.
Right.
It's tough. It's constantly pulling us, whether it's TikTok, whether it's IG Reels, all that stuff. And to your point, calculating an algorithm, that takes work. I don't like this, I do like this. Because like mine is a lot of cooking videos. I love Dano, I love Meat Church, I love watch. Now you guys are on there, so it's just like that's what it's all transitioned to. And I'll get lost in that shit for like 2 hours just cooking vids.
Man, I don't even watch cooking vids. I mixed up my Instagram so much. It has comedians like Matt Rife. What is it? Matt Rife, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Matt Rife.
And a couple of other guys. Yeah, he's hilarious. You have the cooking videos, and then you got Joe Rogan, just inspirational things. So it's kind of a blend. Yeah,
that's a good mix.
Yep. So now I'm at a point now where it's like, what do you hide from your Instagram? Like, selecting the not interested button. Like I'm starting to do that a lot more.
Yeah.
So
I see a lot of people taking social media breaks and announcing it. Like, on Facebook, where they're like, I'm deactivating my thing.
Because people get worried.
Follow me here.
I'm going to be concerned.
No.
What do you mean?
Like,
why?
No, I'm joking. Like, your friend is not online anymore. You're like, what happened to you?
Where'd you go?
No, but actually, we do have a little concern for someone. I'm not going to name that name now.
Yeah, that's true.
But because we haven't seen them post in a while, and they used to post a lot. So it's kind of like, what's going on with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I look at it like this, man. I keep a tight-knit circle. So those that know me, they have my number.
Oh, yeah.
Reach out to me. We talk all the time.
Yes.
If I go silent and not text anybody, then they know to check in on me, vice versa. But Instagram, social media as a whole, I'm not reporting anything.
That's true.
If you just don't see me, you'll see when I pop. whenever I post something, and then you're like, oh, okay, so he's been working. Other than that, I don't need to announce anything.
Yeah.
I've learned to keep that part of my life private. So, whether it's family business, friends business, me traveling, different things like that, I might post highlights, but that's pretty much it. So,
well, it's tough too, because like when you're in that mode of constantly sharing and showing like the personal piece of you, not just the business side of you,
exactly,
then you're literally recording during times of your life when you should just be enjoying that moment. And then I'd be going to shows and like tagging the artist, and sure, like the musician might hit us up later and be like, hey, thanks podcast, like can we link up? Like that's a business opportunity. But at the same time, I'm not enjoying the show. I'm thinking about taking a video and posting the video.
You're always in business mode.
And it really does conflict with actually just enjoying life a little bit when you're always thinking. So there is that balance there. And I go through ebbs and flows too, where it's like, okay, but I have tried to get into this new mentality where like I try to like share. One of my purposes is try to motivate people, and that's just to find your own potential, because everyone has a potential that they haven't unlocked yet, and even if you have unlocked it, like there's a even greater version. And so for me, if I can every single day try to just put something online, then I'm going to do it. And so I've been specifically just doing that with TikTok, because based on all the research I've seen, that's the one that actually pays the most. Right?
Really?
Yeah. Unless if you're getting sponsorship deals, unless you're getting like sponsorship deals where people are paying you to advertise their product.
Right.
But as far as just raw content posting,
based on views.
Yeah, based on views, TikTok's is like the best paying apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm like on this little push right now where I'm trying to post every single day on TikTok just a quick 1 minute clip of something, and just see what happens with that.
Good practices to be in.
Just one a day, but then there's that Sunday comes around.
I don't want to do it.
And then I just, it's not every day, but it's almost every day. But I feel you on that struggle. I feel like I'm ranting.
No, you're not ranting at all. And, it's eye-opening for me, because once again, if I don't feel like posting, I just don't post. And it's like, but you're running a business. And for me, whenever I use TikTok, I'm not a TikTok scroller. It's just not a platform that I like. And I'll go on, I'll post a video, and then I'll hop right off. And then whatever numbers it just does that. And I'm like, I need to get more in the habit of actually engaging and things like that. So
I'm in that zone right now. I fired off, I guess a good time to announce it, the Discussion Combustion TikTok. I've had to spearhead that a bit, and I'm trying to figure it out. Art's got a little experience with it, so he's showing me the ways. But I'm kind of already had your approach with it. I'm like, drop a promo clip, drop another one, try to drop something every day. But eventually we're going to run out of, I guess we're not going to run out of promo clips, but we have to keep cutting them. Keep doing that editing, keep doing that push.
Understood.
That social media piece. So I think it will yield results. It usually does, right? Consistency.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the focus.
I mean, look, if you're chasing something in life, like if you want to pursue any, you're doing something consistently, regardless. Either you're consistently sitting on your ass, like doing nothing, and you're not pursuing shit with your life, and you're doing that consistently, or you're like pushing yourself consistently and like trying and failing, because when you're trying new things and experiencing life, and to experience life, you have to like do something new. You have to make yourself a little uncomfortable to actually experience this. And then that's where living is. So everyone's doing something consistently. Is it actually benefiting you? And there is no easy existence. Like there are easier existence, and you can make life easier for yourself. But like it's going to be hard to get there.
You're absolutely right.
So there's like we're walking on all these juxtapositions in life. Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We got a lot thrown at us at all times, coming from a lot of angles, and it's happening so quick. I was talking about AI specifically. Chat GPT, all these AI music things, the AI voices that are coming out now. Like it's kind of concerning.
A little bit, because then you're trying to figure out what's real, what's not.
That's the problem. And so misinformation city. Oh, I heard this, must be true. That's been going on for a long time. Clickbait, we know that's existed forever. But now that AI is in that world, you could take my voice or Arthur's voice and make us say something we never even said and be like, oh, see? What do you do with that? How do you regulate that?
Man, honestly, I don't even know how to regulate it. And I don't even think I'm the person to even say that. But at this point in time, it's just, man, I don't even know, dude.
Just got to ride the wave.
Ride the wave, honestly. I feel like there's just so much going on, whether music, podcasts, things like that. So
yeah, just got to make the best decisions for ourselves, I guess. I mean, and use it as a tool because I mean, it is a tool.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it can be used for good things. I'm just curious as to where it's going to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know,
honestly, I don't even know.
You know, with the AI stuff, I think it's really cool, but I think it's such a shame that all the corporations, they fucked it all up. Like, we could really be living in this awesome technology world that isn't trying to microtransaction us, that isn't like if you just look at video games, for example.
It's all business.
You know, like we lived through the peak of video games when they were the best. You'd buy a complete game, put it into your thing, and you'd be able to play it, you know, pretty quickly. You know, and then you'd be in there in Game Zone.
Exactly.
And it was a complete game that you had to earn things by completing parts in the game.
Right.
And then all of a sudden video games transition to like, you know, these microtransactions of like buying a skin or something and grinding forever to get this stuff, and then the downloads, and then they release it as like a beta. It's not even a complete game when they release. And so I'm just talking about video games, but I feel like that whole ideal of like how they're squeezing it until every drop and really trying to squeeze the most out of all of us is they messed it up, man.
It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Are you a gamer?
I am a gamer, man. You know, I was a bigger gamer when I was a kid, so I played a lot of Nintendo, especially with my siblings, my cousins, and then as I got older, it was just more sports.
Oh yeah.
You know, Madden, NCAA, 2K, whatever.
Yeah, the whole series. Do you ever do racing? We talked a little racing off mic.
Man, honestly, the biggest one that comes to mind is Need for Speed.
Oh, yeah.
Most Wanted.
Most Wanted was a good one.
Okay.
That was a classic, and it sucks because they ruined it after.
I haven't played the new ones.
Nope, I haven't either.
How did they ruin it? What did they do?
It's just not the same. It's just like, you know, from the cars to the way that the controller moves as you're playing it. It's just not the same, man.
Yeah.
That's about a lot of things, I feel like. I mean, Gran Turismo, I will say, is one of the best games ever made. And those continue to get better. But that said, like when A-Spec came out in 2003, 2001, someone's going to correct me on that, that was like the coolest thing I ever saw. And still, like, if you were to play it now, it's not going to look as good, but that nostalgic feel of like watching racing games evolve. I go back and watch those old NASCAR games now, they look like shit.
Yeah.
You know, now they're really coming a long way.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, but the old schools, man, the old schools is like what brought up your childhood too. So there's nothing like that.
The N64 days, some GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nostalgia.
So one of my favorite video game moments ever was when the first Xbox came out, and of course with Combat Evolved, Halo Combat Evolved, and then you would get because there was no online gaming when that first dropped. But you could get 4 systems in the same house with all the Ethernet cables and LAN party that shit. And dude, we used to get 16. There's probably like 30 people there because everyone wanted to at least watch, even if they didn't play. Like they wanted to watch. And then we would all get together and we would have like the TVs in different rooms because like no peeping. You know, you're looking at my screen.
Yeah, you're cheating, and then it's like the half screen. Yeah,
dude. Like they don't know. People don't know about how awesome that was. But actually, I can't completely say that because recently I went to a Smash Bros tournament, Super Smash Bros tournament. Yeah, and it was filled out. There was hundreds of people here, and they were all gaming. So like there are still communities where people can get together and actually like play
Old
together,
game.
which is fun.
And that was a younger community too.
It was.
That was during my time. I'm 30. How old are you guys?
I'm 35.
Okay.
I am the senior
eldest.
The eldest millennialist.
Okay.
At 37.
Man, I'm on the cusp of like where millennials were ending.
Yeah.
So like all of those games are what I grew up with, like the Mario Smash Brothers, the Mario Party, things like that. I didn't have all the games growing up, but I had enough to where, you know, invite people coming over, grab some pizza, things like that. So those are the things that I miss. And a lot of kids now, I don't think they really understand that. Getting
in a room and interacting together.
Everything is parties now. Everybody's just hopping on their headsets and join, hurry up text, jump on.
Have you joined the Discord yet?
No.
You know, that's what they'd be asking.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you used to have to go to your friend's house, knock on the door.
Yeah, you didn't even know if he was home.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mom would be answering if you called over there. Yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
I'm coming over.
You
I'll
come
be there.
over.
I will say the only thing cool about gaming now is like my brother lives in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
So we'll get on there. We'll play some Gran Turismo and stuff, and that's
Okay.
that part about it I like.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you're close quarters and you can drive to your buddy's house, yeah, get over there.
Right.
Let's go old school.
Yeah, no, man. All my friends are out of state, so it's a little difficult. Now everybody's jumping on parties, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, are you from Colorado?
I
Denver?
am. I'm from Denver.
Oh, my man. Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, what part?
We got a local here, Park Hill.
Park Hill,
Yeah.
Montbello.
Okay.
So grew up in Montbello, went to high school in Aurora.
Nice.
Went to Gateway High School.
Oh, right
Okay.
on.
Yep. You?
Nice. I'm a New Englander, so
Yeah.
New England?
I'm a transplant. I came here in 07.
Okay.
I grew up north of Boston.
Okay.
So the accent used to come out when I was drinking a lot of alcohol. It'll come out here and there, when we start partying a little bit. There it is, get wicked hot. But yeah, so I grew up out there, backwoods of New England, and I came here in 07, right before Colorado completely exploded.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw it when it was still like a smaller town. Now it's like a major mega city.
It's a mega city. Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm like, do I still want to stay here? Do I want to start a family here? I'm like, I've been here my whole life. And I'm at the point now where I'm like looking to move outside.
Where are you looking though? Like what compares? Because
I don't think anything
you've traveled a
compares.
lot of places.
Yeah, nothing-
Like you've been a lot of places.
Which helps.
Honestly, nothing really compares to Denver. I would say Scottsdale.
Okay.
Or Glendale in Arizona.
If you can handle the heat.
If you can handle the heat.
If
That's
you can
that
handle
part.
the heat.
So hot.
I would love to move to San Diego.
Oh,
San
yeah.
Diego's just
I can agree with that.
expensive. It's
I
just
can
not
agree
worth
with San
it.
Diego.
It's a fun town.
Yeah. And then,
That's fun there.
Vancouver, British Columbia.
really?
Yes.
Why?
It's like Colorado with an ocean. And the vibes out there,
Okay.
I've never been.
the diversity,
either.
that city is on another level.
You've been ranting about that city.
No, it's like I'm so fortunate that I got to travel so much in the
Yeah.
past couple years, and it's always been whenever I come home, I'm like, oh man, no place like Colorado. It's so good to be home. But Vancouver, it felt like it was out of this world. It was awesome out there.
Did they have mountains out there too?
Oh yeah, right on the water. I saw like 20 bald eagles. They're all over the place, just flying around.
There's a lot of rain up there, I feel like.
It's not quite as temperate as like Seattle. I think it's not quite as bad as Seattle.
But it's close to Seattle, right?
It's pretty
An
close
hour
to
and a half,
Seattle. Yeah.
Give or take. North.
Yeah.
Did they get all the weathers? All the seasons up there?
No, because the
Coastal.
currents and
The
stuff,
coastal.
yeah, keep it pretty temperate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to
But
put it on the visit
There's a
list.
lot of places. I could see San Diego. I've always, because for my day job, I work remote.
Yeah.
And so technically, like, since I'm salary based, I could move anywhere.
Right.
And so I could still make my same income. So, like, I've always fantasized about, like, moving to Mississippi or like, something where, like, the dollar goes a lot
Going
further.
down to the south,
Yep.
huh?
You know, but
Yep.
it's I've never actually hung out and stayed there. So would I want to be there? Like,
Go down for a visit.
Yeah, you should go down.
Food
Like,
down-
you
the
just
food
go
down is
live
great.
there for a year. Like, go live in,
You've had
like,
my
a trailer
Mississippi pot
park.
roast. That
Yeah.
shit was good.
Yeah.
Mississippi pot roast?
Their barbecue is amazing.
They're
Is
good.
it?
No,
Yeah.
Barbecue is
everything is
fucking
so
amazing.
It's fattening and delicious
Yep.
and flavorful. I
Yep.
love Southern cuisine. And Texas, I love Texas.
Okay.
That's a place that's highly on my list of consideration to move to.
Okay, what part?
It would be probably North Dallas.
North Dallas?
So I could still get to the
Okay.
city, still get to DFW,
Yep.
but I'd want to be a little bit out of the city.
Yeah.
And I like the vibes of North Dallas. That's where the NASCAR track is.
Okay.
Yep.
Honestly, man, that's actually where one of the places that I'm looking at right now.
Is Texas?
Yeah, my missus, she's from Odessa,
Oh,
Odessa,
okay.
Texas. So
Good old oil town.
yeah, man, we were just out there for the holidays. But honestly, I think Dallas over Houston. I
Agreed.
think Dallas it's hot, but it's not as compact. There's a lot more to do. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and there's lakes because I like
Yep.
to do fishing and stuff.
Exactly.
And you can get into the woods a little bit. Like the further north you go, up towards Oklahoma, it gets a little woodier.
Yeah.
And it's not far from North Dallas. You can be over
Yeah.
the Oklahoma border, go do some gambling or whatever.
Exactly.
But that state is just so massive.
It's huge.
I mean, 12 hours, 12 and a half hours to go from one point to the other, like the furthest 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could go through New England twice, 3 times, through all of New England
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
Man.
Yeah. What I should do is go move into like a trailer park for like a couple years.
Just save up your money.
Yeah, and just
have a Lamborghini out front.
Yeah, no, no.
They're like, this guy's dealing meth.
There's no way. I sold cars for so long that like having the fancy car is like the last thing that I want.
Understood.
Right? Like I'd rather have fresh clothes and like
Yeah.
a nice place to live.
Yeah.
But here I am talking about moving into the trailer park.
I mean,
You know,
I've seen some nice
But,
trailers.
Like get the money
Yeah.
to go, or like I don't know why it's always like been curious to me, but like having a bitchin' van and just living
Do the van life?
Yeah, mobile for like a year or two.
do it.
Just
I
for
don't
like
think
a
I could.
year.
I couldn't do it. I got my truck. No, I can't do it.
You got the truck to tow the
If I needed to, yeah. I got a
fifth wheel.
GMC Sahara.
yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah.
But you couldn't live in a van for like a year? What if it was like a bitchin' like the like tour bus type shit?
Oh, like a coach?
yeah,
coach?
like where you have like the big bus.
Like
but
the
you're-
Rockstar bus.
Yeah.
That's a little different than the van life.
Right.
You got
right.
more room. There's like bedrooms.
If I'm able to, I look at it like this. The number one things that I enjoy about my place is the kitchen, bathroom.
Okay.
As long as those things look amazing, we're good. I can sleep anywhere.
That's
So,
fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, no.
So as far as toilet seats go.
Let's talk about it.
As far as toilet seats go, no, I have something on this
Good segue.
because this is crucial.
Right.
Like I don't know who in the F started creating these narrow, like short toilet seats.
Right.
You know, because for men, like we're working with some extra stuff down
Yep.
there, and if it's not the oblong,
Every man
Right.
knows what he's talking
then
about.
there's like a risk factor. There's a risk factor to touching the porcelain.
Especially public
Yeah.
restrooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the airport.
Nah.
Yeah, so I
good.
don't know what's up with that. If anyone's remodeling your bathroom right now, oblong toilet.
Oblong's the way to go.
Yes.
For sure.
Oblong toilet with the quiet seat.
With a little
quiet-
cushion?
A little quiet. I don't
Yeah.
like the cushion, man.
No, the cushion.
Man,
is-
you'll
that's-
tear that up
You
over
think
a
so?
period of time.
I
Yeah.
probably would.
No, he's talking about like when you drop it.
Like when you
it
drop
has
it
the
on
high
the quiet
drop.
It's got the
yeah.
slow
and then
drop.
It just slows
Yeah.
drop. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fancy.
Some of them get heated. You know, some of them have them heated ones. In
Heated
those
with
cold
the bidet?
places. See,
Are
the
you a bidet boy?
I am a bidet boy. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
didn't mean to say it like that. No, I've never used them though. See, like
Really?
Okay, so this is a funny story.
I've never used a bidet either.
I was dating this gal.
Oh, this is a
Okay.
good story.
Okay.
I was dating this gal, and she was living a unique lifestyle, which I thought
Okay.
was cool. She was like a life coach, and then she also did house sitting, and
Yeah.
she didn't have a home. Like this is how she lived.
Yeah.
Like she would travel and house sit, and one of her requirements was they had to have a bidet. She would only house sit at homes which had a bidet.
Yep.
It raises a couple
I can
concerns.
see that. I can see why.
Well, I mean, is there like how dirty is it down there that you need constant that kind of cleansing? I mean, look, I have to have my dude wipes. Those I'm a dude
Yeah,
wipe
what
guy.
if
I'm
you
a
never
dude wipe
get a
guy
wet
as
wipe
well.
again?
What do you mean?
Okay, so like
With the bidet, I feel like I'm gonna be wet. You know, I'm gonna be a little bit dirtier because of that. My boxers are gonna get wet. Maybe I haven't experienced it yet, but
No, just there's different pressures to it, man.
so there's a science to it.
There's
You
a
got to get it
science to
dialed
it.
in.
Yeah, just a little bit. The ones with the heat. So I'll say this: I had a client that I was cooking for, a very high profile client, and the family. This is why I got the bidet.
okay.
Or got into bidets. I don't have one right now. We just moved. Had to go to the bathroom. I didn't know how to use the toilet, right? Everything was buttons. And the moment that I sat down, I was like, oh, okay, like it's heated. Next thing I know, you talk about being dirty, right? So obviously, yes, you wipe things like that, but being able to have that little extra water, soap,
Okay.
to make sure that you don't smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's not a replacement of
Yeah.
a wipe. It's
No.
like an added bonus.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes a
Yeah,
little
I
more
mean,
sense.
you're not just doing the dude wipe only.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Like
No.
you're
No,
going
the dude
dry
wipe's the final
first.
is
Yeah.
the final countdown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the same philosophy,
Yeah.
We got onto the toilet.
right?
Yeah.
No, but seriously,
You never know
those
what's gonna happen on
those
this show.
narrow ass toilets. I don't
Yeah,
know
I hate
who in
'em.
the F invented that shit.
Yeah.
Outdated
Those are-
technology.
Those are
Very,
whack.
very much so.
Those are whack.
Especially when the bathroom is small, and then there's no ventilation. It makes it even worse.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
kitchens and bathrooms, I can agree on that. And like honestly, like if you're like meeting new people, if
Yeah.
you can really get a good idea about this person based upon the cleanliness of,
of their
restroom.
bathroom. Yeah.
Yep.
And
True.
the kitchen too, almost
Very,
too. Like
very
both
much
of those
so.
are
Both
very
those are
telling.
crucial.
Yep.
No, I would agree with you 100% there. No dishes in the sink gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, we got to keep it tight. Let's keep it nice.
Man, I wasn't always that way though, man. Especially during college.
Well, that's a little,
It
different
was
times.
tough. It was tough, in and out. But now that I'm older, yeah, no dishes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make a mess from cooking a delicious dish, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to relax until that kitchen's clean.
That part.
Well, yeah, and also when you let it sit, it solidifies.
It smells.
And then it's harder
yeah.
to clean up.
Yep.
Like so,
It's
clean the dishes while they're fresh.
you have to.
Clean the dishes while they're
Bill
fresh.
Burr had a great joke about it. He goes, "There's two types of people in this world. You got the people that do the dishes, and then people that let them soak."
Yep.
You know, and the people that let him soak are like, "Oh, I was going to do that." And he's like, "No, you weren't.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't. Now I'm
You're just
sitting
going to
here.
sit the whole time.
You're just going to sit here. Now my hand is in a pot with scrambled eggs floating around.
Oh yeah.
And then it's the texture thing on your fingers. I don't like that.
Oh, absolutely. No. Get that out of here.
What's the biggest one? Clean as you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
Okay.
I struggle with that. I put everything in the dishwasher.
The sign of a pro.
Is
You
yo,
clean as you go.
clean as you go. Now, see, if I'm in a restaurant, I'm meticulous with it. At home, a little difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that because, like, at the restaurant, you have a dishwasher, right? So you can just offload some shit. He's going to run it, get it going, and then you're just working with what you need.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of that team aspect.
Exactly.
I've been seeing myself cutting corners when making the bed in the morning recently. Like for the longest time, I always made the bed every single morning. I would always get it done.
Yep.
And like I've noticed in the past, like couple weeks or so, like I might not load the dish immediately. And I've been noticing myself slip a little bit. So this is like a self note, and just like we admitted earlier that we didn't get to try
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, the
It's
first
all
place
good. It's all good.
winner. I'm admitting here that I got to tighten up on just finishing it right away.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, that's the first step, right? Is acknowledging it and then putting the steps in place and then going from there. You're not alone.
Yeah.
That's been me too. Like these past couple of weeks, haven't been making the bed. Usually, like that's the first thing I do. Grab a cup of coffee or some tea, and then head to the gym. Struggled on all those. Yeah.
And it's crazy, like what for working out specifically. I've noticed if I miss one day, then it's super easy to miss that second day.
Yeah.
And if you miss that second day, then all of a sudden it's day 4.
Exactly.
Like you haven't done anything. And it happens so quick.
Any bad habit. Like if you're eating like shit, if you start drinking alcohol, it's easy to be like, you know what? I'm already here, so let me just keep doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I think I've definitely dealt with that many times.
That same here, especially like and the alcohol piece. I watched one of you guys' podcast talking about alcohol, right? The overindulging. Like that was one thing that I caught myself doing over and over again, especially after a shift. I'm like, I come home, grab a Coke, some whiskey, and taking 2 shots right then and there. And I'm like, dude, you gotta chill, because it started to become a habit over and over again. Now it's to the point where I won't even drink, especially when I go home. And if I do,
good habit.
Very good habit. The hangovers are shit, man.
That's what
It's
was
not the same.
That was what was getting rough for me. Right up before I quit drinking, back in June.
Yeah.
It was. I kept telling myself every morning, I can't wait to not feel like this anymore.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad. But I was so stuck in that routine of just coming home, drinking the 12-pack, going to bed. Next day, grabbing 12-pack. It was just part of the routine, right? And so the hangovers, though, you're right. That's when it started to change, because in my 20s, there was no hangovers.
Yep.
Right? It was just live like there's no tomorrow. Give me all the drugs, all the alcohol.
Exactly.
And then, as I say, man, like you hit 30, you hit 31, it's like, man, my body's not liking this shit anymore. And so, yeah, I had to tighten it up.
Yep, same. What about you?
I mean, it's a tightrope.
Yeah.
I feel like every subject, there is a fine line of, overdoing it and not,
Exactly.
and like, so it's all a tightrope for me. I'm going to enjoy a couple drinks on this episode because I just can't resist them right now.
We're still drinking these delicious ones, these non-alcs.
But I did so good for so long. Look, as long as like it's not controlling you, like
Right.
you were saying, like every single night you need to go home, you need to do that. Like you were saying,
Yep.
like
That's the
I
thing.
had to go get that 12-pack. For me, it was like I was bored, and so like I used to be 270 pounds.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years. I lost like 70 pounds. And at my worst, I was drinking a lot of whiskey and just snacking all the time.
Yeah.
And like that was too much. Like it's like, what's 16 drinks? Like what is that? Nothing.
They
like,
fucking catch up quick.
It was like nothing. Like,
Yeah.
you're just doing it. And so for me, like kind of before we jumped on, I was talking about just enjoying the present. Like I try not to give myself too hard of a time.
Yeah.
If I want to indulge, if I do, don't overdo it. Like
Right.
be responsible about it. It's just wild getting older and realizing like, okay, all the lessons that Pops was trying to teach me, all that was true. All the lessons that all my elders had told me, like
Yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way apparently.
Yep.
Because people gave me the advice.
Well,
Yeah.
never wanted to
Very
hear
much
it, though.
Yeah, I never did it
Yeah, no.
until I'm sitting there disappointed in myself. You know, so that's my main thing is I don't want to be disappointed in my actions.
Yeah.
And I know the right thing to do. And I think most people do.
Yeah.
Most people know what they need to do.
Exactly. And then I think kind of add on to that is just giving yourself enough grace. Like that's something that I'm learning to do now is, you know, we're not perfect. You know, there's a way of doing something and there's always a better way. There's never really a bad way. But giving yourself enough grace to figure that out, to fail, to succeed, fail again, and then once again succeed. So that's something I'm currently living by right now.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the process, I feel like.
Yeah.
It really is, because I mean, I've slipped with alcohol during this journey, and it made me feel horrible.
Yeah.
You know, and then anytime that happens, I make horrible decisions after that. That's
Right.
the thing that I had to learn about myself with my addictive personality as well. I'm already here, you know, let's do more horrible things. And that's that control piece, is getting that grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said last week's show, it's not necessarily about the days, weeks, months, how far I can go. It's about not letting it control my life.
Right.
And that's a daily reminder for me.
I love
You
that.
know? Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows somebody that's dealing with some sort of substance abuse.
It's true.
Right.
You know, and I believe that any way that you can find a way to make it healthy and live a healthy life, and it's not going to be easy. We're being complacent somewhere. Like we're being consistent somewhere. Just like when I was addicted to pills, I was being consistent on finding the drug, on getting it, looked forward to it. Dude, if I wanted to find painkillers back in the day, like I didn't care if it took me 8 hours. Like we were going to find that shit.
Yeah.
And we would. And then I just think about like that ferocity and dedication that I had to find a drug. Yeah. And would make it happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I not applying that type of dedication and diligence to areas in my life that actually benefit me? And when I'm benefited, I actually am fortunate enough to like have this energy that can help others.
Right.
And so like that's really important. That there's like a whole bunch of different side paths we could go in there on that conversation, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Very
Like
much so.
and we're all alone in our own heads. Even if you have a girlfriend, wife, whatever, friends, like you're really alone in your own head. And so like you have to do this. You have to fight and be a warrior
Every day.
by yourself.
Yeah. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
You know, that's that living piece. That's something I deal with every day. You know, like I was telling you when I got to the studio today, like for me, it's one day at a time.
Yeah.
You know, because I start to get too anxious if I look too far ahead.
Yep.
Things start to stress me out if I'm making plans too far ahead.
Yeah, you wouldn't even set New Year's plans with me yet.
It's too far ahead. You know, that's too far ahead for me to think. You know, I'm like, I got to get through today. I got to get through tomorrow, and then we'll talk. You know,
Yeah.
that's been my approach.
He's the
to
man
it.
of his word, apparently.
No, I love that, and it's knowing your limits too. It's like as far as what I'm willing to, what I'm not. You know, just like you guys, man. I was struggling with that too, and I still struggle with it now. Overthinking is what I struggle with.
Me too.
Right? Whether it's am I good enough? You know, for example, the competition, dude. I was like, this shit is too simple. I'm looking at everybody else's dish, and I'm like, damn, am I good enough to do this? I'm like, but you're in the room, so yeah, you're more than good enough. Yeah, there's a reason why they asked you to be a part of this competition, and just understanding that. And you talk about not just overthinking, having anxiety. It's like being stuck in your head, understanding that you have the ability to. I use the analogy walking out the door. So yes, you're in your head, but you have the ability and the ability to make the decision to leave at any given point in time and to live in that moment and to enjoy what is currently going on around you. So
That's well said.
yeah,
That's well said. Because I'm sure that was a high pressure event, right? And you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah.
And then to win it,
Yeah.
like when they announced the
Yeah.
winner, were you like a little shocked? I know from a fan's perspective, I was like, oh wow, this is cool.
honestly, a little bit. I thought the pasta had it. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Pasta was damn good.
I thought the pasta had it only because it was super creative.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was, you know, my approach with the dish. You know, I ended up going to, it's called Get Right's. Get Right's Bakery. It's out South Denver,
Okay.
over by Lakeside. And, man, they made this beautiful breakfast pizza with squash. They did Italian sauces instead. Drizzled honey, Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
And that was like the best thing I fucking ate. And I was like, you know what, how can I recreate this but in a way that reminds me of my grandmother? You know, for me it seems too simple, but it really did bring back, you know, childhood memories. So instead of doing, sweet potatoes, which is what we grew up with, which are, candy sweet potatoes, that was my approach with the squash. And then as far as the sausage, my grandmother, every Sunday, right after church, she would make grits. It was grits, eggs over easy, and some bacon. And that was her go-to. She'll have a slice of bread on the side. The grits that they gave us, those were traditional grits. Like those were, stone ground grits.
Yeah.
Which are a little bit, they're difficult to use compared to, quick grits, which is what I grew up with. But I use the same process, man. Cook it like your grandma used to make it. Don't overcomplicate it. And it ended up being a winner. So
cook with a little love.
Cook with love. That's pretty much it. That's my philosophy every time I cook.
Yeah.
Always cook with love. Keep things simple.
Love it.
And that's what's memorable about each thing that I make. So
Yeah.
So
there's two things that I kind of took from everything you just said.
Yeah.
So to unpack this, the first thing is we are all our biggest doubters. Like you're talking about, am I good enough? And everyone goes through these moments, even if you're fucking crushing it.
Yeah.
Like you're still sitting here like, why am I worthy of this? So like we're all our biggest naysayers. If we could shut that version of us up.
Yep.
It's
true.
And then to go into the second piece of how you're talking about your dish, there's like this philosophy where like it's so simple that can't be the answer, but it's actually that simple.
Yeah.
And people who are over analytical and inherently humans in general want to overcomplicate things. Like we make things more complicating than they actually are.
Yeah.
And like the simplicity is actually, that's life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is actually pretty simple.
Exactly.
Back to basics.
So there's like all these, there's layers to what you're saying, and I'm like, of course it was successful, because you're overcoming your own self-doubt, and then you're making a simple thing, something that you loved as a child, and like did your own rendition on it.
Yep.
Bravo. That was well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, very well
played.
done for sure. Anything I ever make, like it's always pretty simple, but it ends up being delicious. You know, when I try to overcomplicate it, get too fancy, then things start going off the rails.
Yep.
But that part's fun too, because I'm like learning. I'm a recent into the culinary arts. I'm having a fun time with it.
Exactly.
Just getting in there and just chopping it up, fucking some things up.
Yep.
And everything that has turned out like with good guest feedback that I've done have been really simple recipes.
Yep.
So I'm just sticking to basics, keeping it simple, not overthinking it. Get a little of that flavor on there. Getting it on the smoke, whatever. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So you're a smoker, huh?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm a seasoned smoker yet, but it's heating up. We're getting to the right temperature.
What do you have? A Traeger?
Traeger.
Okay. You?
I eat the meat off of his
He
Traeger.
eats my smoked meat. But I did the turkey on the smoker.
Okay.
Cody kind of got me pumped up on how to do it a little bit, so I took some advice from him.
Yeah.
And of course he was texting me, "Let me see the gravy. I don't care about the turkey."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Come on, man. Try
He's
to make
a
this
sauce
turkey."
guy, man.
He loves sauce.
He's
Man,
a
this dude is
sauce guy.
saucy. The saucy squid.
The saucy squid.
Yeah, man.
He loves the sauce. But smoking's fun. So I've done pretty much all of the meats. The brisket.
Yeah.
I've done salmon. I've done prime rib at this point. Did the turkey. Pork loins, beef tenderloins. So now I'm like, where do I go with it now? How do I get more creative?
Why not go on a show?
Oh man.
Why not go on a show? Backyard Brawl, Netflix, something.
Yeah, I might throw my hat into something like that in 25.
You make some good shit, Kev.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm comp worthy yet.
No, but look, I mean, DeAndre was just talking about
I know.
how he had that
Yeah, I
self-doubt
know.
and shit.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
I also haven't been cooking for 12 years.
And you know what? And that's okay. Look, I look at it like this. I didn't go to culinary school. Everything that I have been taught along the way has all been in restaurants.
Oh wow.
The real way to learn.
The real way, quote
In the
unquote.
streets.
And I started in the dish pit, dude.
Oh yeah.
And then just worked my way up. I was
the
secretly
trenches.
I was secretly hopping on the line. I remember working at Embassy Suites hotel, and they just hired me as a dishwasher. I'm like, look, I just want to learn how to cook. I'll figure it out myself. Every time the executive chef would leave, I would step away from dishes. I'm either doing prep or I sneak away, hop on the line while tickets are going, while nobody's around, while they're taking a break or a smoke break. And then I go back to doing what I was doing. But that's how I learned, and then eventually got caught. And they're like, you know what? All right, here are the next steps. So this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
Wow.
So and that's just how I worked my way from there.
Interesting.
Well, that's a cool story. I was going to ask you kind of how you got to this point, and you just answered it. So,
Yep.
man, just in the trenches taking grenades.
In the trenches, man. I'll say this. I grew up in the old ways of cooking, so I've had hot boiling crabs thrown at me. Cuss that, get out my kitchen.
Gordon Ramsay type
yep,
shit.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Can't do that now. I feel like the industry's too sensitive.
Oh, come on, people.
Yeah, why is that?
Why is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, because I feel like there's certain industries where it can still be like that and be a little rough, and I feel like culinary arts is one of them. Like, you fucked this up, get the fuck out of the kitchen.
No, I think nowadays everything is it's teachable, right? You want to be as strong as the person next to you in the kitchen. I don't need to yell at you. If I could teach you how to do something, I'm going to teach and coach you how to do it, because I would expect the same in return. Because if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to ask, all right, what, chef, show me how to do this. And then pretty much go from there. The way I look at it now, and I learned this through one of my previous chefs, Chef Lee Sagag, is from New York. With dealing with my team members or, my cooks, whatever, look at it from a chef instructor's point of view. Right before I was working with him, I was working at the Colorado Early College. So I was teaching students how to cook. And I wouldn't throw a plate at them like, you fucked up. No, we're not doing that. All right, guys, what do you guys want to cook? What sounds fun? Let's create a curriculum, go from there. And then, I would guide them through. Because...
I mean, that's a better way to teach.
You're going to have better results.
Exactly.
Yeah, because honestly, yelling and all that, that's kind of beta behavior.
I mean, I just grew up I grew up in the grocery biz. And so I started bagging groceries when I was 14 years old in the old ways.
Yeah.
And a very, very tough ass boss, no nonsense kind of approach, would fire you on the spot type of shit. You fucking weak ass, you can't do nothing. So I was used to that kind of conditioning. And I have seen the change you're talking about. Again, never worked in the culinary arts, but I can imagine, how to even slice something properly or, prep, all that stuff. Like, you need to learn, right? And but by yelling at me is probably not going to be the best way.
It's not going to help.
Yeah.
I look at it like this. People learn better when you talk to them. The way we're talking right now, you're able to get, your point across.
Yeah.
And then you just walk away. And then you let them do their own thing. And then if they mess up, all right, you show them again. And then they get it. So
repetition's a mother skill.
Yep. That and patience.
And patience.
Yeah.
If you're not making mistakes, then you're not trying.
Exactly.
And that's one of the biggest things that I feel like a lot of people need to overcome as far as fulfilling their potential is being willing to fail. And like not quit when you do. Yeah. Right? Because it's so easy to be like, I really thought this was for me, but I failed at my first attempt, so it must not be for me.
A lot of people do that.
That's unfortunate because you're really selling yourself short if you're not seeing it through a little bit.
Yep.
Like if you really want to do something big that means a lot to you, it's not going to happen in 2 weeks.
Not at all.
Like you're going to have to stay committed to something for like I think honestly like a year is like a good benchmark for like actually diving into something
to see results.
Yeah. To see results, I can see that. Throughout my journey as far as cooking, the timeline I gave myself was 10 years. I know it sounds crazy, but it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm starting from ground zero, and I'm going to go to each and every restaurant or corporate dining, different schools just to kind of figure it out. And I didn't get my first gig until, 2019? And I started back in, 2012? So for all that time, I had to grind. I quit. Like I said, I cried about it. I bitched and moaned about it, prayed about it, talked to my grandmother about it. And the moment that I stopped complaining is when I started, seeing things come to light. And, I learned to start speaking things into existence. All the things that I wanted to do. What are your goals? All right. Can you see yourself there? All right. Start saying that you're already doing it. You're already there. It's already happening. And then, boom, things just started happening back to back to back. And
the mind is powerful.
It's powerful.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, when you stop complaining. You start being grateful about it and open-minded to new opportunities. Yeah, man. A lot of things happen.
It's true. We can manifest a lot of things.
Yes, you can.
And we got to be kind to ourselves, too.
Yep.
And positive affirmations. I can do this. I'm strong. I'm healthy.
Yep.
I can handle whatever challenge.
Yep.
Those type of things go a long way. I've been really, really pumping myself full of those these past few weeks, and it helps.
It
definitely
crucial.
Helps.
It's crucial, and I know I've said this 1,000 times, but people are doing affirmations whether they know it or they don't.
Yeah.
Like before, you were complaining, and your complaint was your affirmation.
Yes, it was.
That's why nothing was getting done.
Exactly.
So that's a really deep subject. Like that whole context of, you know, and we mentioned earlier on this same episode is like, you know, the intuitive stuff, or at least I was talking about that and how we're all interconnected and like this intuitive nature and being able to manifest and create a life and what you're focused on, like the laws of attraction. All that stuff is super interesting. And if you're not consciously using these techniques, then more than likely they're working against you. It's happening regardless.
I think we've all experienced it. Everyone in this room, for sure.
Oh yeah,
it's part of living.
So. Yeah.
You know, got to fail to succeed a little bit. Got to get out and get a little dirty. Got to take some hits. Got to take some damage.
Well, and it doesn't stop either. Like you think. You think that, like, okay, I've worked hard enough and I deserve a break.
I deserve a break.
Right?
That's when you got to go harder, as Cody said.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's one thing that really helped me find my, I don't want to say grind mentality, but really helped me find, like, my equilibrium with staying productive. Because I think staying productive, anyone could live a productive life.
Yeah.
I don't look at work like work. I'm being productive. I'm handling that.
Yeah.
But it was really just, you know, doing those affirmations and realizing that when I wasn't doing them, I would start falling off. And that showed me that there's no finish line. Like, I would continually have to constantly work on myself, and everybody does. There's no finish line to success. Like, that's just, and that's the cold truth.
Yeah.
Is like the self-improvement journey has no end. And that is a big commitment, because that you're doing until you die.
Yeah.
So that's a big commitment.
Yeah, that alone will scare people off.
Man, yeah.
You know?
You're absolutely right about that.
It's worth it, but it's worth it.
Yeah, the results are definitely worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Another 10 years from now, we're like, man, look at this guy. You're going to be on some big program or running some big enterprise, or be like, he was on our show 10 years ago.
Man, I speak that. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll receive that. Yeah.
I mean, you do got enterprise energy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I knew
your stature, you're calm, cool, collected.
Okay.
All right.
Noted.
And also, I can tell that you have, like, authenticity. Yep. You know?
Appreciate that.
So
I'm working on that. I'm working on that right now. I had I'll share this with you guys, man. I had a period where everything had to stop as far as taking a break from doing what it is that I love to do, to kind of just focus back on myself, get myself back in order, figure out what my values and morals were, right? What were important. And, you know, I recently just got the answer over over the holidays. So now I'm actually at a point where it's like, how can I now give value back to people, right? Things like that. I feel like I'm just ranting now, but yeah, man.
No, you had to take a break.
Had to take a break, yeah.
Re-get your footing.
Get everything back in order.
Because it's easy to get lost.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost when you're just chasing, running.
Yep.
But, like, sometimes, like, we lose ourselves.
Exactly.
A little bit, and it's like, wait, you know, who am I becoming?
Exactly, that part.
Right? So it's good to have those check-ins.
Yep, and that's actually what happened. It was a check-in with myself, what makes sense. Responsibilities is pretty much what it was. Like, what are my priorities? What are my responsibilities? What do I need to, you know, focus and give my attention to? And then, you know, move forward from there. So that's just pretty much where I've been at. And when you look at it with business, it's like, I feel like I'm just ranting, man.
No, you're good.
I'm thinking everything, but yeah, my fault.
No, you're good, man. We're always over here ranting, so it's nice to have a guest telling their side. And, you know, I guess my question was like, how long did that period take when you realize, okay, I'm going to shut the engines down and recharge the batteries to time to go full send again?
It took me a month.
Okay.
Took me a month to kind of just pause, reset, put a new plan in order, put new goals in order. You know, what are the next goals that I want to accomplish? Because at a moment in time, man, I was accomplishing all of my goals, but it was happening quick.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, well, what makes you happy? What are you enjoying now? So now that I have that, I can now move forward. So.
Well, and that changes too.
Yeah.
Like, we're not always. Our purpose will change as life continues.
Right.
And sometimes when we, like you just said, like you had kind of fulfilled some of your purposes, you were achieving your goals.
Yeah.
And then you're left like, well, what am I doing now? Like, what am I chasing?
Exactly.
You know, and I feel like it's important because not everyone gets vulnerable and like talks about the low times. Like everyone's so excited to talk about all the exciting things.
Yeah.
Which is great. But you know what's really exciting is when I see somebody that was struggling and then they start turning their life around. Like that type of
inspiring.
Shit. That type of shit
Yeah.
will get me going.
Yeah.
And like that's what I want to help motivate. And like that's the thing is like I might be an optimistic person, but I'm not always up. Like I got my days when I just want to be down.
Yep.
And that's okay.
That's human.
You know?
That's human emotion for sure. And people, what's the saying that one of our guests rattled off? People relate more with your messes than they will
your message.
Than your message.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great quote, right? I mean, because it's true. Whether people are having their hand held through an alcoholic journey or they see someone going through, a custody battle or whatever, they're going to relate to those messes more than just see. They just see you now, how you got here. They didn't see all the bullshit.
Yep.
And so that's a good constant reminder that social media doesn't always highlight the best.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. And as far as being vulnerable, man, I had this conversation with Cody. Got to a point where, a lot of people, like I said, people see the highlights, right? Go off of what you said. But they don't know that, we've been broke back to back, trying to figure out how we're going to pay our bills. Do we have enough money to get, put gas in our car? Am I going to be able to make it to this next event because I put all the money into the event to make sure that it goes well? But the household isn't, taken care of. So things like that. So a lot of people don't see that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, look, to work through that, I mean, that is part of reality, right?
Yeah.
And so as a man, like, I know that I could feel low if I'm not doing those type of things. So it's like, because we want to be providers and be the stability for the household and create, like, the comfortability, like, it's going to be good. And when it's not, that hurts.
Yeah.
That one's tough. That's a tough burden to take on.
Yep.
But when you're risking it too, like, I mean, to where I'm at is so fortunate compared to where I was 4 years ago. And like, and just to be able to like taste this amount of authenticity from myself and see the result from it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't peaches and cream getting here.
Exactly.
And I still let the demons in. And I say what's up to them because they never go away.
Oh, they're knocking.
Yep.
Like those demons are there. Whatever anyone's demon is, they just get smaller every time I let them in. They don't scare me as much.
That's well said.
So I still let them in.
Different perspective for sure.
It's that's for me, man. But everyone's gonna have their own way to get through it. But the main thing that I really think is critical to overcoming adversity is to stay optimistic.
Yep.
And it's tough when you're getting shit on and like no opportunity is working and you're trying and for some reason you can't even close the cabinet door correctly.
Yeah.
It's like one of those days.
Yeah.
And you're just getting pissed off.
Throwing shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay, but we'll to have that optimism and like it's so refreshing because this is our first real conversation, right? And it's so refreshing to have heard that story about you complaining all the time, things weren't working out, and then you shifted your mentality, and then all of a sudden the universe started to provide.
Yeah.
Like, I know people that don't want to believe that. Like, people don't want to believe in that for some reason.
Right.
Like, oh, no, the mind doesn't work like that. But, like, there's just another story of, like, another example of how that rings true.
Well, we've always said it's easier to stay on Complacent Boulevard than it is to go on Full Send Highway.
Exactly.
That Complacent Boulevard is nicely paved. It's got beautiful scenery to look at. That Full Send Highway is going to be a rough road. You're going to hit some potholes. You're going to have to change the tire. It's not going to be easy. And I think that's where people just go, that's too much for me. People will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure.
Yep.
And that's a scientific fact of humanity, me included. We're all going to be tested with that at times. It's easy to stay on Complacent Boulevard. It really is. Give me the cold beer and the donuts and all the bullshit, and I'll stay there all day. But I got to full send that son of a bitch, NASCAR that down Full Send Highway.
Exactly.
That's my perspective.
Yep.
You've been doing a good job at that recently.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
His face when I said that, I wish I had the camera on you, man.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It hasn't been. It's not going to be easy.
No, not at all. I think at that moment you just got to pick your hard. Are you going to enjoy the easy life right now and then it gets harder later, or are you going to take the hard road and then sit back and enjoy that beer?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, do that.
yeah.
That's the choice. That's a good segue into the question we like to ask every guest that comes on this program.
Okay.
And that is, if you could offer one piece of life advice, if all of humanity hears this tomorrow, when they will, on YouTube and all the streaming platforms, what would that piece of advice be?
Man. You know what? At the end of the day, we all go through shit. You just got to learn to say fuck it and keep it pushing. So, and what that looks like is, regardless of, you're struggling now, struggling tomorrow, at some point in time, you're going to struggle. At the end of the day, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It really is. So you just got to keep moving.
Just keep it moving.
Just keep moving.
It's good advice.
What'd you say? Floor it?
Mash the gas, baby.
Hit the gas.
Mash it.
So.
Yeah, don't stop when you're stuck in the shit, or else you're just standing there.
You're just gonna dig in deeper.
Yeah, you're just gonna. Yeah, it's crazy, man. All this type of stuff is like, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And to all my true warriors out there who walk that walk and are honest and accountable with themselves, and like, oh no, I was an idiot there, or I overindulged there. Like, you got to be honest with yourself.
Yep.
And there's a freedom to being honest. So I do like that advice. Don't stop when the shit gets hard. You got to keep it moving, or else, like, you get stuck there.
It's like quicksand.
It is.
Pulls you in.
Yep.
Man.
There's so much that I wanted to get into on this like,
this was a good episode.
There were so many side topics, and like when you're a professional podcaster, like, you learn to like not say everything that you want to, because the conversation moves sometimes.
Let it flow. Yeah, it's like a river.
And there was like at least 7 times I was like, oh God, I want to. Man. But this thing's moving.
See, but that's a good reason why we're gonna have you back on as a repeat guest.
Sounds great to me.
Because once you're in the wheelhouse, there ain't no getting out.
Hey, my answer is always a yes. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Y'all let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, we're going to get you on for sure. Good time for you to drop anything you got coming up, promos, social medias, anything you want to drop.
Cool. So you guys can follow me at Chef DeAndre on Instagram. For all my Denver folks, I have a couple of class sessions that are going to be coming up. I'll be posting throughout the year. I have another one coming up December 28th. It's going to be at La Victoria's Healing Kitchen. We're going to be doing a Southern Luck event. So pretty much I'm going to be teaching individuals how to cook traditional Southern dinner, especially going to the New Year's, from greens to black eyed peas. We're going to have a cornbread cook-off, which I think will be dope. You guys are more than welcome to come.
I'll come to a cornbread cook-off.
Oh, yeah.
So,
for sure.
And then, but yeah, man, I have a lot of other things that are going to be coming up. I'm looking at partnering, once again, with La Victoria's Healing Kitchen to do what we call men's intervention. So cooking with men's intervention, teaching men how to cook, how to prepare, not only dinners for themselves, whether they're in college or just at home, romantic dinners, things like that. And then I'll also be doing some couples classes as well.
That sounds like a fun class.
It does. And I know that women find men who cook extremely attractive.
Yes, they do.
That's also a scientific fact. For sure.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, man. I'm super grateful. I really am. Thank y'all for allowing me to be here and be a part of this masterpiece.
Well, thanks,
this was, for all those looking, man, this was my first podcast. So,
you did great.
Man, I have fun. Overthink a little bit, but it's all good.
No, it's
all right.
It's all gravy, baby. And
it's all good.
He's a bidet boy. A bidet boy.
A bidet boy? That's crazy. Bidet man.
Bidet man.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same.
No, not at all.
It doesn't.
We'll just say he keeps it fresh and clean.
Yeah.
Keeping it fresh.
What's the toilet brand name?
Oh, isn't
toilet paper? Which one? Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sponsor us. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
We tried to get them to sponsor us one time, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
So let's shut her down. We got Happy Friday coming your way tomorrow. Thanks again for all the support on this channel and all the love that you've shown us over the years. Follow us on all the social medias. Definitely get down in the links below. Get in touch over here with Chef DeAndre doing some amazing things.
Love it. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got another one in the wheelhouse, and we're gonna continue to support you and network with you, and we look forward to seeing like all of us grow. Right?
Yeah.
This is this point in time. We have a long way to go. And on that note, be good to yourselves.
You deserve it.